Hey, how's it going? This is Chris with Soldier Home Solutions. I just kind of wanted to give a tip today. I'll have to actually give this tip credit to Rodney Orange, a really good friend of mine as a flooring contractor. Anyway, what the tip is about is what do you do with the flooring that butts up to the threshold that may not be a very clean cut? You can't really caulk it. And the threshold of the door, which is the bottom of the door, where the flooring butts up. Along the wall, with you can cover with the baseboard, you can cover it with quarter round. But what do you do at the door? One of the old ways of doing it was to take a piece of quarter round. Again, was to take a piece of quarter round and stick it. What I'm talking about is this spot right here. We're at a door. That's an exterior door, right? There's the threshold. This is actually a pool house that I'm working on. But do you see, this is luxury vinyl plank flooring. We got baseboard and quarter round, right? Quarter round, if you don't know what quarter round is, it's a molding. It's a quarter of a circle. It's 11/16 by 11/16 up and down. And so a lot of times that we used to do in the past, or a lot of people just take quarter round, put it right like that. But most people don't like the looks of this gap right here. It doesn't look very good. So one thing my friend Rodney told me, and I've been doing it for a while now, is to rip a piece of primed 3/4 down, kind of make like a screen, like a stop molding, right? I'll show you what it looks like when it's applied. It looks like this. So what we did is that piece of strip covers the transition gap between the flooring and the threshold. It goes under the baseboard and butts up to the quarter round. Kind of gives it a cleaner look. All right. And I caulked it. The reason why these sticks are here is tape, because this is actually a pool house and it's on a concrete slab. So it's more like a patio home. So there's nothing for me to nail that threshold down. If it was a normal house on subflooring, I would nail it down. So what I did is caulked it, put some caulk under it, pushed it into place, held it in. It's naturally holding down itself, but it had a little bow. So these sticks are pushing it against, and then I caulked this along there. And once that caulk dries up, it'll hold it in place. So I'll go show you what I'm doing on the table saw to make the strip. So the casing that I'm using is 376 casing right off the shelf at Lowe's. This is primed finger joint, 376. PFJ, primed finger joint. That's what PFJ stands for. If you don't know what finger jointing is, if you can see this joint right here, this is how they put the wood together in a joint, glued and jointed to make these long pieces. So the backside of this casing right here is 11/16. Okay, I know it says 3/4, but it's really 11/16. Put a tape on it, says 11/16. 1x4 primed appearance board, which is what this is. I already cut one side off, is already the same width as the backside of that casing. So what I do is I set my table saw to 1/4 of an inch and I rip it down, and it gives me this strip right here, 1/4 inch wide, 11/16 this way, and of course that's the cut side down. And then what I do is and so when you have this piece here, it's exactly the same height as the backside of this casing. So when you put this down, it's lining up from casing to casing. And what you do, and we'll use this door over here, move my coffee out of the way. What I do is I measure my distance from that casing to the edge of that casing. In this case, it's 41. Okay, so that's how far apart my casing is. So I would cut a piece at 41. We're going to go back into this door. I'll show you how to put it down. All right, so obviously the tools that I'm going to need, obviously, were the miter saw, tape, my multi-tool with a nice blade on it, caulk, tape, knife, which is hanging out over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scrap piece. So this is my piece right here that I'm going to be putting down here. Okay. I'll need that corner. I'm going to take a scrap piece of the same stuff, and I'm going to lay it. I'm going to lay it right there at the casing. I'm going to use my tape as a way to hold my phone up. But I'm laying the casing or that piece right there. And what I'm using this for is a guide, because I need to undercut this casing because I want the piece of trim to go. I want the piece of trim to go under the casing and butt up against the quarter round. Okay. So I'm using this piece, scrap piece, as a guide, and I'm going to put my blade flat and I'm going to undercut it. Put my hand here and hold it. All right, so it's loose now. That piece is going to come right out. Okay, and blow out the dust. And I'm going to repeat the same step on this side of the casing. This is also the same thing that we do in order to undercut these jambs to run the flooring under. Some people will try to scribe the flooring and cut it to match this, but no. What most professional floor layers will undercut this and the baseboard so they can tuck the flooring underneath at doorways. All right, same thing here. And don't worry about if you cut into this or this, because you're not going to see it because that piece of trim is going to be in the way. But, all right, I'll pull this back so you can see. So now there's the doorway. And here's my piece. Okay, I'm going to, hold on, get the side I want to use. I'm going to put this side in. So this is going to tuck underneath. See how it's going underneath? It's going to tuck there. If it's cut the right size, this might be a little too long. Just a touch. I'm going to go take a trim off. I'll be right back. All right, so that's what it looks like sitting underneath. And then down this end as well, I haven't caulked it yet, but that's what we're going for. And then it covers the gap along the floor. So, kind of different options you can use. Most homeowners kind of like this option over having the quarter round just butt up against the other quarter round. So, but yeah, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit, and you know, maybe this is something you could use on your next project. I think you could get some some screen stop, but I know the Lowe's around here where I usually do my shop, and they don't have the primed screen stop. So since all of this trim is going to be getting painted white, so just figured why not go with a primed piece of wood as well and kind of clean that up. All right, hope that helps you. See ya.